This may be your only chance to own an ultra-rare pre-war GM creation. This was just one of 12 cars built. I took a ride in a huge 1939 Futurliner in 2021, and it was a great time. Few cars catch the eye quite like General Motors Futurliner. Built in the 1930s, the fleet of a dozen Streamliners showcased GM's American industrial might and technological prowess. They toured North America, taking a break for World War I, and the fleet of buses was abandoned for good after 1956. From there, each Futurliner took its own path to eventual restoration, dilapidation, or obscurity. Two of the Futurliner were purchased in the 1990s by Peter Pan Bus Lines of Springfield, Massachusetts, and one is for sale today on Facebook, of all places. The price? About $1 million. An unusual turn of events led me to ride and drive this behemoth back in late 2021. According to the company, it was for sale then, but only by word of mouth. Now it seems that Peter Pan is more concerned with getting rid of it. The company now uses it for special events. The space, once reserved for a trade show on technological advancements, is now a small stage where bands usually play. Its original transmission has been replaced by a diesel engine that has enough power to pull the Futurliner forward at a reasonable speed. It's strange to steer while sitting so high in the air. A narrow staircase leads to the cab, which has one center seat for the driver and a small bench in the back for a few passengers. I've never driven an old bus, but that's the best I can say about the experience. The steering makes about 1 million revolutions from stop to stop. It was in pretty good condition when I drove it, and it looks like it's in even better condition now. The worm screw system that raises the light bar above the car needed some care a few years ago, but it seems to have been done. As I mentioned earlier, Peter Pan actually has two Futurliners, although one of them is in a pretty poor state of disrepair. I'm told that the company plans to pull the worm drive out of that one to make its functional beast work better, and it may have been done. In 2021, Peter Pan claimed that anyone who wanted to buy a restored car would also have to remove the rusty body of the non-functional Futurliner, though this new ad doesn't mention removing the old body. I'm not going to help sell this thing, but I want to emphasize that this is a very interesting piece of history, and other Futurliners have sold for much more than Peter Pan is asking. In case you're wondering, Peter Pan's restored bus was likely purchased from a group of a few people gathered outside of Chicago in the 1990s by car collector Joe Bortz. Its history prior to that is very murky. The company's second Futurliner, a rotting hulk, is actually much more interesting in terms of its past. It was formerly owned by the famous TV preacher Oral Roberts, who used it to tour Central America on a mission to promote Christianity. Over several decades it somehow made its way to Mount Vernon, New York before allegedly being sent to a landfill before finally landing in a farmer's field in East Meredith, NY. That's where Peter Pan found it, recognizable by the several modifications made to its steel shell over the years. Anyway, just know that yes, the unit for sale does drive and ride great. Sure, it could use a little love. Even the restoration it's received is a few decades old at this point, but it's unlikely there will be another opportunity to buy a Futurliner anytime soon.